I have cracked the secret story behind Battle Brothers. I am furious that it's taken me this long to realise, because in my own hubris I did not explore one location. Other than that, I'm doing good. What is it? Right. So there are 4 late game crises in the game. There's Runeskin Invasion, which we have defeated. There is Undead Scourge, Noble House War, and a Religious Schism. In the Undead Scourge, at the very beginning of it, which basically says, "Oh yeah, the war has now begun." Your character, the narrator, because everything is told from the narrator's perspective, the captain of the mercenary company, has a vision. Has a vision of waking up in this, this gilded bedroom made of marble and gold, and servants carrying grapes and fans and a beautiful empress and stuff like that. And he steps out onto the balcony and overlooks this parade of troops who are marching to war with an even lesser known foe than what we know about the ancient empire. Bestream, yeah, exactly. But as you're looking out over your troops, there is a cataclysm, an explosive cataclysm. Like it describes what happens, because it's either like a volcano or like a meteor or something like that strikes the Empire. Because it describes how armor melts, flesh disintegrates, bone becomes charred, skin cracks, and everything. And that's a nightmare that your character, the captain of the mercenary company, has at the beginning of the Undead Scourge. On top of that, whether there's an Undead Scourge going on or not, whenever there's an Undead Scourge going on, or if there isn't one, every now and then you get a quest, which is go and retrieve such and such item from such and such tomb, or gravesite, or whatever. And every time you go there, sometimes a piece of flavor text pops up that says, "The false king must die." I added the voice because it's all text based, but the undead that you stir that wake up to defend the gravesite sometimes rattle out the false king must die. Last stream we found a hut, like a witch's hut in the wilderness. And she basically, she kind of alludes to the fact that oh yes, it's totally not the false king now, are you? Sort of thing, in preparation for doing the quest. Sort of thing. I failed that fight because it's like 2 trolls, 4 hexen, a bunch of direwolves, and some spiders. Because if you wanted a coalition of fuckery, that's it. Trolls, witches, spiders, and direwolves. But she basically alludes to the fact that you are the false king. Now, I just went to... Where is it? This location here. I have found this location before. I have found the ancient statue before, but I have never gone into it. I've never interacted with it. Reason being is because, that's an ancient statue. That's going to be like the Black Mountaintop, or the Black Obelisk. What is the Black Obelisk? The Black Obelisk is you go there and you fight basically. Imagine Fabian, my D&D character. The level 14, Asimid Exarch. Asimid Paladin, who's the Exarch of the gods. Imagine fighting like 6 dudes that are him, but actually undead. And I've got fucking Bob, Jim, and Harry from the next village over who've managed to survive a couple of fights and have somewhat okay armor. That's the sort of power level distance between the two. So I thought it was going to be like one of those fights with the ancient statue. No, because during the flavor text of hitting the ancient of interacting with the ancient statue, every one of your mercenary company, every time they touch the statue, they fall limp. They fall unconscious for a couple of minutes. They have visions, and then they come back saying, "I saw this amazing future, with gold everywhere and amazing things. There is an empire and stuff like that." But when your character, the narrator, the captain of the company, touches the ancient statue, nothing happens. So you touch it again, nothing happens. So you're like, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. Draw your sword and go to whack it. Except you don't whack the statue. The sword goes through the statue, through this tear in space time sort of thing, and it just goes all the way through, and you end up killing this. I'm assuming this guardian of some variety, like Shade almost. Because it's described as a knight who slides and glides. Whether that's referring to just how graceful they are in their movement, or they were genuinely gliding like a ghost does, I don't know. It wasn't particularly clear. Oh dear. Oh. And then you turn around and you see a 4-poster bed that's got columns of marble on the 4 pillars with, beautifully adorned statues as the pillars, either of a man or a woman, depending on which pillar it is, sort of thing. And you see an old man who is like weathered and old, scarred, grey-haired, and he shouts at you, but you do not understand the language. And as you turn around, you see another guardian-like creature with a 2-handed weapon. And you parry, you thrust. It's all narrative fighting, and there's no actual fight going on between me and this other dude. It's all flavor text. But just before that second guardian comes, there's a moment of, wait, hold on, this old man looks familiar, sort of thing, and then this fight with the second guardian happens. Then the second guardian is killed, and then you're ripped back through space-time. But it describes things like burning, living, unliving, screaming. That's the same descriptions that you got during the nightmare at the beginning of the Undead Scourge. And then you're ripped back through, and everyone's like. And then they're kind of like the veil is shattered almost, because when you get to the ancient statue, when you interact with it, everyone's like, wow, this giant statue that's made of gold just sat here in the middle of nowhere, and nobody's taking anything from it. And then they touch it and they fall unconscious, things like that, and then you do it. And then as your mercenary company is basically packing up and buggering off, they're like, that statue isn't gold. That's rusted bronze. And then the last couple of the lines are you looking at the statue's face, looking just going, that face looks incredibly familiar. That familiar face. That very familiar face. And it's just like, oh my god, I've cracked the secret story behind Battle Brothers. That's it. This fucking, for all we know, common-born mercenary captain who probably joined the company on a lark and ended up in the leadership position due to tragedy at the very beginning of the game, is now like, man, that's crazy. The lore team in this is legit. I don't know. I do not know if all of this is 100% canon. This is just what I've put together. I never put it together until after I went to the ancient statue, because I looked at it, I thought, yeah, that's going to be like a level 1 kobold fighting a level 20 player party of D&D characters. I ain't fighting that. not fighting that. I have a hard enough time against like 20 zombies and 2 geists. Let alone fucking the Chad Deathlord Draugr Overlord. Oh my days. I'm gonna